Hi guys, it's me Verdan again, and you are on my channel. Don't mind me to being in that kind of position because it's pretty dark in here, so I think the best lighting like this. So you are about to watch like a talk show, interview, I don't know how to name it. Comment below, maybe suggest some name for this series of interviews that I take with a bunch of photographers and creators overall. I hope I'll find some video makers too. But you're going to watch the, let's say, talk with Guzel Tuhbatullina. She is photographer, portrait photographer mostly, that's what I know according to her Instagram, and she is student in United States from Turkmenistan. So don't mind the quality of the video through the zoom, because again it's dark here, couldn't find the better place to have an interview. Don't mind the quality because I think the quality is not important. What important is the sound audio, because you will get a lot of valuable information, a lot of insight from her experience, how she sees the world, and etc. So enjoy. Guzel, hello. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Oh, okay, I do.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Okay, for everyone who's watching this video, so meet Guzel Tuhbatullina, right? Did I say
Yeah,
right?
that was perfect. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
she is a photographer from Turkmenistan, but currently studying in United States. And today, I she will be my guest, and I'm going to ask her some questions and all that stuff. So I don't know. I didn't name this kind of show, so I don't know the name for it yet. So whoever's watching it, comment below and suggest maybe some names. So Guzel, first of all, like to give. Oh, first of all, thank you very much. I appreciate that you agreed to talk with me and to spend your time with me, because I'm not a big internet phenomena, so that to talk
I'm
with,
not
I'm
either.
just
So I
growing.
don't, I'm not either, so I don't think you should feel bad about that. So we're all in the same boat, just trying to grow.
Good, good. Thank you very much. So
Yeah, of course.
to give some context to all of people who are watching, I don't know,
Mhm.
just tell about yourself. Maybe you have some story behind how you became photographer.
Sure. Honestly, nothing too extra. I think it just kind of happened. I was taking photos of a lot of my friends. They always loved giving me their phone, knowing that, oh, Guzel takes best photos, so she should take it. And I never paid attention to it until I just got myself a nice phone that had a good camera. And then I was in a beautiful place in Missouri, and I just started taking photos. So it mostly started with landscape photography on my phone, and a lot of macro close-up photos of bugs or some kind of animals. And that's just something that kind of sparked the interest from the start. And then I've collected some money. So at some point I was like, okay, I need to get myself a camera. And that's just something that I wanted. And I was like, I'm just going to treat myself. Um, and honestly, I obviously I'm a student and I'm broke. So,
Yeah.
um,
I feel you.
like, yeah, which is totally normal. So I thought I'm going to find something cheap. And for starters, like I'm not a professional, so I definitely needed something that is not high tech. So I looked up on eBay and I definitely did a lot of research. Don't buy anything on eBay without your research. Seriously, like you can get some really broken stuff there. But I found a really good deal and I got myself a Nikon.
iPhone?
Nikon.
Nikon, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, so
no, it's
Nikon was
okay.
your first camera. So Nikon was your first camera?
Still is actually. I've never actually changed anything because I didn't really
Oh, okay.
have a chance to. I think I've been just kind of busy, you know, when you get to the point of graduation and then you have to work, you don't really have much time to go and get yourself something new because it's not my business. That's not what I'm making money off of. So
Okay.
it was never a requirement for me to get a new camera, if that makes sense. Or it never made me money for me to uh, be able to get myself something more high tech.
Oh,
But yeah, it's just something fun that I enjoy doing, and that's how I got into it.
so photography is your hobby and you're not doing it professionally. Do you plan to do it
Um,
professionally?
so I'll explain myself. I'm a photojournalist, and because my profession in general, I wanted to be a journalist since I was 16. So things like magazines, National Geographic, or news reporters, you know, and like,
That's interesting.
yeah, it was always something that I was more into because it's real life, nobody's posing and just capturing that moment. And then, so I still keep that. It's still something that I really like to do, and most of my favorite work of mine are usually photojournalistic. Nothing that was planned, it just happened, it's a burst of moment, and those are so much more fun, I think, because they don't really have to explain itself, you know?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds interesting. So, yeah, so it's a very nice hobby that at the same time complements to your major, to your profession that you're studying for, right? That
Yeah,
that
it definitely does.
that's
And I never
interesting.
really thought of that way when I started. I guess I didn't care if it's connected or not because I started as a journalist, as a writer.
So
And
now you are more into portraits then, because most of the posts in Instagram I saw, they are mostly portraits and pretty good portraits. I like them. So everyone who's watching, I will leave the link to her Instagram account. So just click and look at them because the photos are really cool. I like
oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I kind of got into portraiture, I think, slowly. It wasn't something that I was confident in at the beginning, and it was just, again, clicking on the camera and just trying to find the best shot, and not even trying, just like literally clicking and then going through them and hoping that there's something that was nice that was captured at the very start. That's how basically my photos been chosen. Just
that's that's funny because
first of all,
yeah, that's funny because the portrait photography is the least type of photography that I'm confident in, and I'm not so good at it. And to be frank, I'm not into portrait photography, but I
mhm.
like, I don't know, when I look at people how they take pictures, I like to be impressed from the side, but I never try to take portrait by myself.
You know, it's actually I suggest you experiment with that because I have a friend. Her name is Ying. She's also a photographer, and she's from Burma. So it was funny. She's also very into photojournalism, and we went to the same college. But she always admired my, again, photography and portraits mostly because that's what I've been doing probably like the last 2 years. And I was like, you know what? Let's challenge it. I'm gonna model for you, and you're gonna take my photo. So if you go to my Instagram, there are some photos of me, the probably the latest ones. They've been taken by her, and that was her first time, literally first time taking it. Obviously, I organized everything. I organized the theme because I think that's something to remember before you plan a shoot. Spontaneous things are always fun, but it's always nice to give yourself some mood board. What are you looking for? Definitely make
Yeah,
sure you, if you're shooting outdoors, what's the weather like, what's the light like. Lighting is everything in photography. No matter what photography you're doing,
true.
your lighting is your key. Otherwise, it doesn't even matter what your goal is. If you didn't get the light, nothing matters, really.
True, true. I heard about
Yeah.
mood board because one of my friends, I don't know if you know him, Kareem. His name is Kareem, and
don't think so.
Belbayev, yeah. Okay, so we went to same college and we're in the same university. Yeah,
Hmm.
he was kind of involved in portrait photography too, and he would make the mood boards using Pinterest. Pinterest.
Yep, yep.
So yeah,
Pinterest, careful was that thing. Once you get into it, it's like you sucked in for hours because it's like a place of ideas. But one thing I know for sure is I've met a lot of people who not only like met, but I've seen online, and that's just something that we run into because like from home, people don't understand what copyright is,
yeah,
and they steal things, and steal is a bad word, but you know what I mean. Like they get inspired, but instead of creating something off of that, they create the same exact thing.
gotcha.
So there's no originality or authenticity to it, and it's just sad.
Yeah,
So mood boards are there to create that sense, maybe that feeling that you're trying to show through your photos, but never copying. I think if there's something really specific that you think it would be beautiful, and if it's just the face of a person, I mean, there's nothing that you're copying. It's a whole new human that you're like that you're taking photo of. So there's no cheating there. But style or poses most of the time are ones that are stolen, and I'm guilty of that too. I definitely have some photos that I've seen, I've looked at, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to steal that. And um, it was fun, but then I realized it's like it's stealing.
yep,
So it doesn't feel like it's yours. Like you did it, and you can't even give yourself credit for that, if that makes sense. I don't
yeah.
know how other people. I like to be an honest person, and I like to do my job the way that I wanted. So to be fair and giving credits to people that I got inspired from.
It
So
does. It does make sense. And that's interesting thought because again, creativity is not something you create unique and you come from yourself. You get inspired by other ideas and you just mix them up with your own vision, and that's how you get creative. That's the interesting idea because most of the time, me and almost most of us are confused with creativity. We think that we should be super unique, stand out, be like no one else in the world. But it's more like a mixture of ideas. It's more like to adding your uniqueness to already existing ideas. That's I like
then
that
that's
a lot.
really true. Yeah, that's true. But there are definitely people that I've inspired, like I got inspired from, who just can create something out of nothing. They can sit, they have like a white paper, and they will create something on it beautiful. And they're talented. There really is just something special about them. I have not found myself in a spot where I can just create something out of nothing. So for me, it's always I look for inspiration. It could be anything. I think for me, nature was my first very like
Yeah,
true muse, because I always took a lot of macro photos of landscape, a lot of the the trees, like the very close up. Like I really loved how nature kind of built itself, how symmetric it can be, how different it can be. And it's just, for me, that was something very inspiring. Again, just capturing that. And I mean, there's so many people who does the same thing. So it's, you shouldn't be, as you said, after, I'm going to be the one who's standing up. I'm the only one like this. Um, I think it's like in fashion, and no offense to any um, modern fashion designers, but there are some things that you just see on the TV and you're like, who would ever wear this? But the thing is to just like, to show that, hey, I'm different. And sadly, not like, there are some things that definitely become fashionable after that, like after years and ages, it's cool. But most of the stuff actually is just garbage, because it was never intention to create something that you love. It was intention to create something to surprise
yeah,
someone.
to just be creative, be unique. There's no idea standing behind that, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
that kind of things. So the question pops up here. So who influenced you, or who inspires you to take these pictures? Who, maybe, I don't know, was your first teacher, kind of?
Yeah.
Not
Um.
personally, maybe it was online or something.
So I think this is gonna be like super banal. I Instagram is a big, platform for photographers
Yep.
and bloggers. So for me, it was very interesting. And I don't know if you heard of her, but it's Alexandra Burimova,
No,
Sasha Burimova. She is.
I'll check it
I'll
out.
send. Yeah, I'll send you her link, and I think everybody should just know about her. I think she's amazing. She's the type of person who creates something out of nothing. She's really talented, and she does photography and videography, and just takes her camera and just flows with it. And I love her style. Definitely, just like never stop inspiring me. Anything that she takes, it could be very. It just her work makes you feel things, and I think that's the goal. That should be the goal of every single person who creates art.
So
Your works make you feel things, and yeah. So she was really like my first inspiration.
is she a
For sure.
portrait photographer too?
Mostly, yeah, but you kind of just notice that a lot of it is very light photography. It's never something that just she exactly wants you to pose. There
Gotcha.
are a lot of poses, obviously, but if you just browse through her story, you'll understand what I mean. It's a lot more life and a lot more videos, just very flowy, life-like. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just
It
how
does.
she
It does.
is.
I
But
think I know what you're talking
yeah.
about.
hmm Yeah, my professor, I took a photography class, and it's my favorite professor. He's a journalism professor in my college, and he is a black and white photographer who had his work shown in MoMA in New York. It's a Museum
Wow.
of Modern Art. It's a big deal. We went there with our conference last year, I think, no, in 2018, and saw Van Gogh and all that stuff, like all of that. It's crazy out there, and his
Okay.
work was there. So it's really cool, and
It is the big deal.
he definitely, yeah, it's a big deal, and he is definitely my mentor. And we both really just love one photographer that I'm like, she's like my goddess. Her name is Annie Leibovitz. If you ever open magazine of Vanity Fair or ever even follow any celebrity, there's definitely a photo that's been taken by her. She's super talented. John Lennon and Yoko Ono. There is a photograph of him being naked and hugging her in bed, and that's one of the most, I think, one of the famous works of her. But like honestly, she's super famous for her work, and light is everything in her photography. So mostly just for magazines right now, but if you just look into her too, it's like she's the icon. She teaches also. She has master classes that I think you should pay to get that, but I don't know. I've never actually done it, but I've watched her work in taking photography classes before. I understand how she works, and understanding how light works and what do you have to have, like umbrellas. How even if you don't have umbrellas and all you have is camera, and maybe you can create a source of light like a lamp, and how you're
Mm.
supposed to position that. It's also an art, and not necessarily art. It's a science, a whole science behind that. You have to like have your angles measured and know how to put your object so that the light would fall exactly how you want it to.
Agree. I should focus on that too, I think, because yeah, I'm still learning photographer, so I should focus on that too, learn more about lighting and stuff. So say her name again. I couldn't.
Annie Leibovitz. I'll send you
Okay.
clear her Instagram too. But definitely someone who you shouldn't just look through Instagram. Definitely Google her, because that's the woman who photographed basically every single celebrity out there. So yeah, she definitely a big inspiration of mine.
Gotcha. I'm inspired by mostly There's a YouTube personality, so it's Peter McKinnon. I don't know if you heard about him, but he's a big, yeah, he's big in photography in YouTube ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Photographer and video maker because I'm into video making too. And Daniel Schiffer, Matty Hapoya, that's his friend.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like, I don't know if you heard about Mango Street. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of
Yes,
videos
I
of
love
Mango.
Mango Street.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're fun.
they are
Uh,
cool.
have you heard of God this advanced self portraiture? Um, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm not butchering her name. Um,
Oh wait, you mean self-portrait?
um, yes, she
Sorel
takes.
Sorel Amor?
Yes, exactly. She is
I do.
just amazing and how she edits her photo. And I think that's one other thing is editing. Editing. So what I've heard from older photographers that used to work for magazines and everything, they didn't have any tools like Lightroom or Photoshop. They literally just took the photo and whatever it turned out, that was the final work.
Oh,
We are
okay.
lucky to live in the century where we can edit and fix our mistakes. Not every time you can fix. Obviously, you want to be smart and not make mistakes so you don't have to work too much afterwards. But if you did a mistake, I think like if you made a mistake, you can actually fix it. For me, at least, I was able to do that. And Lightroom is my best friend as much as YouTube. And to whoever is just starting, YouTube is your best friend. Like YouTube
Yeah, I agree.
University, like my
I
other,
learned everything there. Yeah, I learned everything there.
yeah.
You don't even
And
have to go to school for it.
whatever, exactly, whatever question you have, you just have to ask YouTube, not even Google. YouTube will have any answers like that you're looking for.
I agree.
Um,
So
yeah.
yeah, so that idea that people long time ago when they didn't have this editing software, they
Mhm.
were just taking pictures and they were relying on their skills. And here's the good point out of it. So in order to practice to be like a, pro photographer, I think we should
Right.
all just try to take pictures as as best as possible so that we don't even have to edit them. And I guess that would be a great training, great exercise to just put yourself into that environment where you don't have software. You should imagine that you don't have that software to edit, and you should,
Um, yeah, no, I mean, that's how I started. I did not have any editing apps at all. And for me, the most that I could do was just like black and white, and tweaking things around. But um, because I wasn't really into that at the beginning, like I didn't have a good laptop to have that, or I didn't even like, I was so not educated in that. But one thing was that the problem that you're going to run into, a lot of the good photographers have good cameras. You need to have a good lens. You need to invest in your good camera, and it's always important. That's for me. That's my goal. Once I like, that would be something that I wanted to do to the point where I can sell my photograph, just one, but so good that I can sell it, let's say, or I can publish it in some big ass magazine. And that would be my goal. And for that, camera is important. Your gear, as much as you can edit, of course, like I'm totally for starters, like you need to learn how to edit, you need to get all of the skills first. But eventually, it's suggested that you switch to good cameras because, like, that's just how it is, and that's
so
probably something you have to do down the line.
do you edit your photos right now? Do you do them?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
edit
I
it?
mean, I mean, if you look into colors, there's no way you can capture colors like that
Yeah, okay.
with your camera. There's like, it's impossible.
But so you believe that photographer or any creator needs a good gear, right? Hey guys, so you were watching the part one. I was editing the video and I realized that video is too long, so I decided to just divided into two parts. So that was the part one, and if you want to continue watch the interview with Guzel, then here's the video part two, and just click on it and you'll get to the part two. Thank you. Bye.